So I'm not sure you guys have heard about it, but Texas Democrats have fled the state. Representatives, because of the gerrymandering stuff that Republicans are doing in that state. It's clearly racist. It's meant to go after districts that have black majorities, Latino majorities. Representative Al Green has talked about it in detail multiple times. It's just racism. That's all it is. And this is 2025, so this is the middle of the decade. Normally, they wait to the end of the decade so they can better serve their people. This is a power grab. And if Trump wasn't worried about the midterms, if Trump had policies that were beneficial to people, then he wouldn't need to do these kind of things. But because he's done stuff, it's pissed off so many people, this is what he has to do. Is let's gerrymander, and it's not just Texas, that's the first one. Let's gerrymander red states. Because he's supposed to get, when he was talking about, like when he ran the first time, he was talking about how he got like good numbers in Nebraska. No, he ran the second time. And it's like, dude, you're supposed to get Nebraska. That's white people. You're supposed to get those states. Like, why are you bragging about that? I think that, well, anyway, it's in the state constitution. They can do that. They can flee the state. The governor has set out warrants for them. I guess it's kind of like bench warrant. We're going back to work. They're not breaking any laws. And by them fleeing the state, those warrants, I understand, they're not nationwide. Like on the warrant, you got like a little box nationwide. They're not nationwide warrants. So what's going on in Texas is not that won't work in New York. That won't work in those things. Won't work. I think that ultimately, it's just a sign of the times of how desperate they really are, of how desperate the times are for Republicans. They have to do things like this, so devious, so nasty. They're trying to make it out like warrants aren't coming to work, but they are working. They're preventing you from gerrymandering to violate your rights. See, it's like when those guys in Tennessee were like, the two black guys, they were like Memphis, another part of Tennessee, they got thrown out of the hearings, and it was like, they were there, you can't just throw them out, because like what you're saying, they end up getting their position back. Like, you're just telling everybody in Memphis, fuck you. That's what that was. You're just telling a bunch of people that you don't like, and are saying things that are contrary to your agenda. You're like, fuck you. There was two black guys and a white woman. The white woman got a job back immediately. I remember correctly. I think that, I don't know, I don't really care white folks think about nothing no more. So like, doing these kind of things, putting out warrants, doing stuff like that, and now saying, can we use the FBI to track them down even though they have not committed any federal offense? These kind of things, like, they make me happy to be on the left, because they show me better than anything what I face. That Republicans have been using and wanting to weaponize the law enforcement tools and powers for a long time. You saw it with Hunter Biden. They went after him for years, and all they did was charge him for firearm charges. The evidence went away, the witnesses went away. There was never any case. They just used that in Congress. Remember when with the Hillary stuff? And then I think when Trump got elected, they just stopped talking about it. Yeah, it was not. The point of it was not to lock her up. The point of it was to gain to put a black fog over her in running, to make her look bad, and to make it ugly. That's all it was. They don't actually have cases. It's a shame. I always thought the federal government was supposed to be the best, whether it be hate crime laws, whatever. I always thought the federal government would be the best. And now they're using the federal government as sort of a cudgel in blue states. There's a cudgel in areas they just don't like his repression. They tell us, on the left, that we should like unite, countries unite and all that. But all I see is an American government that seeks to make us lesser, harm us to push their agenda. This isn't all. This isn't an administration fighting for votes or fighting for its idea. This is an administration that thrives on cruelty. We did something last night, Timothy Snyder, and he said this back around before COVID, 2020, 2019. And Timothy Snyder's talking about something called pseudo-populism, which is that you don't get what you're promised, but you get to witness the cruelty on people you don't like. And it's just so wild because with the putting National Guard Marines in LA, threatening to arrest governors, it aged like fine wine. Everything he said aged like fine wine. It's just repression. That's all it is. Repression. And I just thought that was amazing to see that. Yeah, using law enforcement without a purpose, without a crime. You know what I understand is that's not a crime either. Them leaving the state not a crime either. It's just saying bring them back. And then even if the FBI can, it's so fucked up because they probably will try to get in and help the Republicans. Because we have a government, I want y'all to understand that we have a government who we pay tax to that does not serve us. And these tax cuts and all this is for the rich. None of it saves us. None of it serves us. You know, you're literally using the federal government as a weapon, as a tool against people you don't like. And not this, let's take the best of the state laws and let's bring them into the federal system. So we have a better society, a better system. So we have a society that we're looking forward and preparing for unforeseen events. This is not that. This is a old, wicked, vicious, cruel, senile old man that just likes to watch, that wants to watch the world burn. You know, I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame. I don't see Texas as part of America anymore. I don't see much of the Southeast being part of America anymore. And every day it grows a little bit. You're just watching